Hello, ladies and gentlemen. Welcome to my presentation for organization cybersecurity policy. Let's just jump into it. So, basic standard for the creation and changes for different type of standards, I chose ISO 22301. Is The process is very important. In recent companies, it saves the organization peace of mind with if it's a good continuing business management, if you're able to secure the organization's infrastructure security frame, it gives the organization peace of mind to good international um standard whereby you could use in a way you can use it anywhere in any organization if you were to choose that route. You can mostly use this is very crucial mostly in healthcare, finance, defense, social services like the government. So this security framework or security standard that I chose is very versatile in any organization, and it helps the lesson any security leaks or anything like that. It helps also achieve the organization objective that they've set in place, like saving lives in the hospital and keeping it or lessening the financial burdens on non-infrastructure or manufacturer or organization. So with this model helps saves a lot of headaches if you were to make it simplify it in a way. So the next part is the implementation of the tiers. Being able to implement the tiers in an organization is very crucial. A good example is a partially as the first tier. Usually is the best unofficial cybersecurity risk management procedure that is based on case by case approach while implementing cybersecurity risk management. The absence of an organizational policy or and supporting practices suggest a low capacity for enforcing that disseminating information, excuse me, regarding cybersecurity initiatives. This includes having a tough time eliminating the hazards associated with current pterodactyl cybersecurity supply chain. So this basically helps. That's the first tier. The second tier is risk informed. This The majority of firms risk rank cybersecurity task according to the corporate risk based on the threat out there. This is solely based on the organization or solely based on what the infrastructure is about. This usually is based on what is out there or the risk that is imminent to your organization. That is the risk informed. The third tier is repeatable. Um, this is just repeating the whole steps all over again. Um, the risk of cybersecurity crime is tracked. Your senior or non-IT leader will inform various levels of, excuse me, the form or handle any risk on a regular basis. A good example is working as an MSP. We have something called that dark web ID agent. We use that for all our clients. It's a must. We recommend it for all our clients so that scans any website they visited, see if there's any breach or any suspicious activity going on, and it alerts us and we alert our client. Also, we have Blue Mirror. Blue Mirror is also a good cybersecurity third-party software that helps us detect any breaches or any critical activity, so we can notify our clients about what is going on. So it's basically being proactive. The fourth tier is adapting. So depending on the situation, there's always room to improve your security mainframe. So there's always ways to let's say R&D, tweak it around, play with it, see any possible leakage or anything that you might find within it that will help your organization. And you repeat this method pretty much on a daily basis. These methods, as soon as you get to work, it helps the organization. The methodology and establishing cybersecurity program that supports organization's strategic initiative. So we first have to recognize, if we were to go back to the previous slide, like the first tier, you have to recognize, or the second tier, you have to recognize danger environments that the organization is imminent to. So you have to be alert and see what's out there, always being proactive. And I keep saying proactive, but it's very essential as a cybersecurity professional. Being proactive and seeing any new ways that hackers or people are using to penetrate if organization. Assess your cybersecurity maturity. Always checking your cyber your policies, checking your mainframe, checking pretty much everything related to keeping the organization safe. And that is what to me means. Determine how you're gonna improve your cybersecurity program. So there's always, like I said, there's always room to improve. You see what's out there, you try to pick up on what's out there and try to implement it in your daily life, or your while you're in the office, or wherever you are working from. Try to train staff, usually people that are very not, let's say, technological, especially the old folks. Try depend on where you work, try to educate them, come up with a program that will help them. Another good software that we use for our organization is Proofpoint, which send out efficient campaign to all our clients to see who's gonna click on it, to best come up with a strategy to educate them on what to look for, and not to click on this link, and what to, so we, and to best see their logic and how to also best improve our security that we offer to our clients. We have to document every single strategy that will help us uh, get to our end goal. Basically, that's the fourth one. Documentation. Document your security step. You have to document every single step that you take that will help you determine the best possible course to help your organization to educate and also improve your security, my friend. So this is a little network diagram that I came up with. So over here we have our server, we have our switches, we have our access point, we have our router, and we have our cloud, and we have our wireless devices that is connected. So as you can see, everything goes back to the switch, back to the server, and going through the access point and the cloud. Then we have our computer, wireless and regular desktop. So this is just a little basic network diagram that I drew. So the server is mainly there to help save, let's say, remote in do a lot of backups to push software updates to all our clients. And also the switches are there to, for network connectivity as well, for internet. And then the internet, you have the internet, your cloud server is just to store data, to minimize risk. So if there's a breach, we can cut the source, and you have your backups in your cloud, because we have another software, I believe it's called Sonic Wall. We use Sonic Wall. That one we update our firewall, we update all our clients firewall, and we also download the backup of the firewall while we implementing the new update. So we do a monthly update, a monthly server reboot, a monthly server update if there's an update, and we reboot it. Make sure, basically the basics of some, let's say, cybersecurity awareness. If you were to say that, updating and keeping everything secure. Um, Organization risk management or risk assessment. We have to prevent, accept, contain, plan, and then we implement it. So risk is inevitable. The best thing is to try to prevent it. The best possible way you could take it is to minimize the risk. Priority and prioritizing, and if there's a breach, we have to accept it and minimize the danger. That will have minimal impact on our clients' data, because data is very priceless. I would say your data is very priceless. So then we have to contain the danger, and utilize the plan that we have, and then we implement the plan, and the likelihood that if something were to happen, we implement those plan and see where how far we can get with that plan and improve them while we're going, and that will lessen the amount of data loss in a way. So the next part is comparing and contrasting. um, the security policy, the standard, the procedure, and the guidelines. So as you can see, we have the security policy is often choice that internally is usually internally that helps it function. The policy is a formal declaration of the principle that target the audience should abide by, and also that is basically the first initial step. The policies is what everyone have to abide by, follow, because it's a policy. Then next one is I believe the procedure. uh the procedure is outlines the steps, the exact steps in order to complete a regular duty, or to adhere to a policy. So every organization have a procedure or steps on how to train a new employee. So the procedure is the next step. The procedure is mainly how you're gonna go about it. So policy, it depends on the organization. The standard outlines the consistent application of a practical technology or setup. So the standard is basically, like I said in the beginning of our presentation, good example is the ISO 2700 or 27000. Fit in the group. One issue is like a third party alternative type of standard. So is frequently related to a third party, like a professional. A good example is like a professional rule or code that is associated and conducted. So a third party, like a good, most organizations, like as an MSP, let's say we we offer security services to our client. Then we also get third party suppliers that also offer us their product that we can sell to our client. So we have them. So we have backup on top of backup. The guideline is an extra suggestion that is supported by the rules, standard, and or procedures in addition to general counsel. A guideline provides the reader the directions and rather detail to aid the audience. So as a guide, as this plainly said, it's a guideline. There's a guideline, there's a procedure, and how to go about it. A good example is the incident report or an incident response. There's a guideline that you have to follow. Um, an incident response is first is the initialization. First, the initial response for that is the when there's a set of protocols that is being involved and measured. So the initial response or the initial incident that happened, that's what the initialization mean and how you're gonna manage uh, the incident. So incident handling plan, there's a plan, so that's we have to follow. um, Initialization of an incident report. Organization initialize response plan to get ready for and handle a computer security problem. And the plan describes the action must be performed for the incident report behind us. So that is what the initialization is for. Event management handles the first step of the incident. So how the event happened, the action might result to an incident. So usually how the incident happened and how you're gonna manage it. The first is keeping it minimal and just managing the incident. Incident typology. So is the second phase whereby incident plan typology, making a map or a roadmap, to occurrence the task and how to delegate the task. An emergency response team. You always have to have an emergency response team. Any organization has cybersecurity team has an emergency response team, whereby when people are asleep and in case it's a breach, they are there to minimize the incident. So they are there to respond to any breach that may happen. That may happen. Excuse me. And then the follow the action plan. The action plan is how the incident happened. So there should be an action plan for any response to any incident that may happen during any accident. So there's always a plan on how to handle any situation. This is cybersecurity awareness. So I screenshot. I couldn't, let's say, print it out as a picture or as an image. So I just screenshot it, and this is the cybersecurity awareness. We also always have to maintain or update your software. Always use a firewall antivirus software. Um, like I said, have a software that will, scan for malware, so malware or ransomware, anything, any harmful viruses that you may not know or you may not pay attention to on your device. A good example, we have Sentinel One. We use Sentinel One, so that's a good application you can use or purchase to put on your computer. It helps with your antivirus. Use multi-factor authentication and also educate people about scam or phishing emails and how and when how to respond to that. Never click it on a phishing email. What to notice, what they need to know about phishing emails, and not to click on any link that they think is suspicious. So this is my presentation. Risk management, incident response, the standards of cybersecurity framework. The next, that is what as a IT professional we need to be alert and be paying attention to every single data when it comes to creating a policy for an organization, the tiers of what kind of risk we're going to be paying attention to, or what kind of risk the organization is exposed to, and how to minimize that risk, coming up with the best policy that everyone has to follow, the procedures, the guideline, as I mentioned in the previous slides. Also, educate um, our end users on pretty much everything that they think is suspicious, like spams, ransomware, all of those. Social engineering. Usually, social engineering is what nowadays hackers are going to use. A little bit of social engineering to gather all the necessary information they need to breach an organization. So having a good security standard and framework and how to respond, having a good response time and a good guideline when it comes to responding to breaches. And just thank you for your time and hope you have a very good day. Thank you.